Hey guys, it is Misty Buck, president of Miss Inc., and we are back with another Marketing Monday segment. I hope everyone's week is starting well. I know it's a little windy and blustery out there, but I hope we're going to bring some some warmth and some energy and some sunshine to your Monday. So I have a really special guest with me today. You know, every week we talk about different things that are going on in the marketing sphere, and we've talked about different types of social networks. We've talked about types of advertising. We've talked about all different types of things. Today, though, we're specifically going to talk with my very good friend over here, Jackie Larkin from NAI Miami, the commercial real estate firm. They are phenomenal, and she is a marketing pro, and she's going to give us some insight into what's going on in the world of commercial real estate, how they're sustaining things and all this crazy 2020 change. And so I'm super excited to have her on today. She's got some awesome stuff to share. So Jackie, go ahead and introduce yourself and welcome to the show.
Thank you for that great introduction, by the way.
You are welcome.
So I am Jackie Larkin. Like she said, I work for NAI Miami Commercial Real Estate. We have been around since 1997, and we joined NAI Global, so we are a global real estate company in 2001. Our main competitors are people like CBRE or JLL. The difference is we're a local homegrown company, and we're more small, I guess, but we do the bigger firms. We don't do Class A like the CBD or downtown district. Our niche is really suburbs, mom and pops, and tenant rep on retail and industrial. So we are really strong in those markets, but we can do anything for anybody, basically. And then I joined the firm about 8 years ago. I started after college in a PR firm, which wasn't really for me, and then an ad agency, which was really cool, but it just wasn't a right fit. And then my dad, who's one of the principals at NAI, basically came to ask me to run their marketing department, and it was just an opportunity that I couldn't turn down. So I actually met Misty, though, with Zoo Miami Wild Bunch. We are both active in that group. It's a young professionals group for Zoo Miami Foundation, and I'm actually the marketing chair this year.
Yeah.
So hopefully a lot of listeners would be interested in that as well. So we'll see where we go.
Yeah, so if you are interested in that, again, Wild Bunch is the Zoo Miami Foundation's young professional group. If that's something that is of any interest to you, we're not just doing stuff to support the foundation. We actually get to do stuff to support the animals, and we're pretty hands-on. So it's actually a really fun networking group to be a part of, and to be a part of the community and give back to Zoo Miami and to our animal friends here. So you can just let us know if either one of us, if you're interested in that. So, all right, Jackie, so let's talk a little bit about, actually, let's just start with the hard stuff, right?
Okay.
Let's talk about 2020. Talk to us about how 2020 has been in the commercial real estate market. It's been pretty tough from what I understand. So what are you guys doing to support your clients and continue to bring in new customers?
So with coronavirus, obviously in-person tours kind of slowed down, especially at the beginning when people were really nervous about meeting face-to-face, obviously. So what we did is we really pulled in videos. So our global partner, NAI Global, has a software called Matterport, which creates virtual 3D walkthroughs. So if you actually have a virtual reality headset, you could literally walk the space, which was really cool. It was another level of marketing that other people just didn't have because they had the traditional walkthroughs or drone photography or drone videography. So that's a really unique tool that we started using back in October, actually right before coronavirus happened. We were testing it out. Another thing that we've been doing is really pushing things digitally. Again, a lot of people aren't local or can't fly in because a lot of our clients are actually international. So what we've been doing is really usually using our social media to highlight not just the city, but our properties and our brokers themselves. We actually have our own podcast. It's called Getting on the Green. One of our brokers started that back in February, and he finished season 1, and season 2 literally launched last week. So that's another kind of really cool initiative that we started.
That's really awesome. So what kind of feedback are you getting from using these virtual reality tools that you talked about, from using the podcast? What kind of feedback are you getting from those things?
We've had a lot of good feedback. A lot of clients are very interested because of our product class. A lot of people like to see the walkthroughs, and kind of, it's not as much as touch and feeling the products because you can literally change the space just like a house. You kind of buy the skeleton or rent the skeleton, and then you can change the inside. So it's really upped our prospects and our reach, really. It's gotten us into houses or in front of people that we probably wouldn't have before.
Yeah. So I think that's got to have been a good experience for you guys, because everyone's just sort of, I think, trying to figure things out this year. And every marketing pro that I speak with, every business owner that I speak with, the theme is really similar, and that is digital. So how are you using digital to reach people and do it in a way that's personal? So it sounds like those tools, especially the virtual walkthroughs, are a really good way of achieving both of those things. So that's pretty cool. So all right, so we're talking about tools that you're using. What are you seeing in the difference between maybe the commercial space and the residential space these days?
So residential has always been really forthcoming and kind of forward in marketing and digital specifically for marketing. Sorry. Residential has put in a lot more money because a lot of the high-end houses and stuff have the, I guess, profit margins to actually really invest. They do the more fun open houses versus commercial places. So they have a lot more of a budget. So they've been at the forefront. Matterport actually got really, really active in residential real estate before they got into commercial real estate. Drone tours were really big in residential before they got into commercial. So it's kind of a catch-up game in certain ways, but we're also trying to kind of really work with our niche marketing, our niche clientele to really bring us to the forefront. So those high-end commercial or residential marketing groups are actually, or high-end residential companies are actually our target market, because most of them either live here as a third house or a second house, and they want to get income. And their first idea is to always get income through residential because of the profit margins.
Right.
But after that, their next idea could also be commercial real estate as a investment for their future generations, or just to be able to get ongoing income just as a safety net from their home countries. Like a lot of our clients are from countries in Latin America where they have a challenge in terms of keeping their, I guess, wealth in their families versus the government taking them over. So they'll invest in other countries like the United States so that they have guaranteed returns on their money, and it's a long-term like portfolio margin. So it's kind of like when you're investing in stocks and bonds at an early age, you can be a little bit more aggressive versus when you're investing later on in life. That's kind of like the big difference between residential and commercial.
Okay, got you. So when you are, so you mentioned international clientele. All right.
Yes.
So how is that working today? How are you able to, I know we talked about a couple digital tools already, your virtual tours, your podcast. How are you, especially, you know, we have a lot of travel restrictions, a lot of challenges right now. So what are you, we'll get into the local market, but I want to, since you touched on that, what are you doing to reach those international buyers and business owners?
So a lot of it is kind of like when you get into the higher end parts of society in Miami, it's really word of mouth marketing more than anything else.
Okay.
So if you do a good job for one or two of your clients, they'll start referring you out to their friends, and it kind of goes and bubbles from there. So once we have one or two clients in certain spheres of influence, we really want to do a great job for them so that they can recommend us to their clients or their spheres of influence. So an example of that is we have a client from, I believe, Brazil, and then he started recommending us to his cousins and kind of so it kind of blew up from there, which has been a really good thing for us. And then they kind of let us roll. They trust in us because he trusts in us to keep their assets protected. So depending on the level of concierge service they need from us, they can either literally be on the property, sign checks, look at everything, or they can literally just pay us a monthly fee, and we can do everything and anything from property management, leasing, selling, the whole gambit of commercial real estate. We can do everything for them.
That's really awesome. So there's really been, it sounds like you already had a lot of things in place.
Yes, luckily.
That really were able to transition into all these changes that are happening this year.
Yeah, so we, back in 2001 when we joined NAA Global, that was part of the reason why we joined NAA Global, was because of our global clients. We wanted to be able to provide services for them anywhere and have a local person on boots on the ground. For example, if they want a property in Texas or if they want a property in Italy, we have somebody there locally that we can either email or pick up the phone and say, hey, we have a client, they're looking for X, Y, and Z, and they're the ones that really know their market. We can do research from here, but unless we're there in the ground, you don't have the contacts with the owners and the local people to really know, like, yes, on paper this asset looks better, but in reality the other asset's better for all of these reasons.
Yeah, I think that's super smart. And I like your point, too, about the word of mouth marketing and getting clients that way, because we all know that when you do a good job, that's what brings in, that's usually typically for most businesses and professionals, that's your best referral source, are those word of mouth referrals. So I think that's an interesting point, because we talk so much about the digital space, which is just continuing to explode due to all the things that we're dealing with these days. But I think that's really important, is to remember, the customer service. So how do you guys give that extra? I know you talked about your concierge services and different things that you offer. What else do you do, like, to give like personalized service to each of your clients? I know that's kind of difficult when you're a larger firm. So what are you guys doing?
So it's our clients. We don't think of just our actual clients that pay our bills. We think of our clients as our tenants. So we always have a 24-hour access for our tenants to provide complain, I guess, if they have any issues with their properties. So we have an online portal that they can put a request in, and they'll get responses within 24 hours. We have our property managers that have cell phones that are on 24 hours again, especially a couple years ago when we had the hurricane and everybody was evacuating because we thought we were going to get a category 4, I think it was. Certain asset managers and property managers stayed back, because at the end of the day, not only are our houses really important to us, but our assets are really important to our clients. So we made sure that we had shutters up early, especially also with coronavirus. One thing is cost savings. So because a lot of people were working from home, what our property management company did was, for the properties that were somewhat empty because people were working from home, we would call different services that we could reduce rates. So one of the things was trash pickup. Normally it would be like 3 times a week, so we called and requested it for one time a week. So that way we were able to save the money there. It was just thinking out of the box is really our key differentiator, because we think of the properties as our own, not just with international owners.
Yeah, so I really love that. So I think, and I want to give a shout out to a couple of people that are watching, by the way, before we segment into the next thing. So
that's exciting.
Mitch, thank you for watching. As always, I always appreciate your support. Mitch Panter, and Sam Pedro. They're super involved in the community. Love working with them. And we had, I don't know if she's still on, but Mary Serderis was still on here watching that. Do you have anybody on your watch party yet?
I have no idea. I don't know how to work this, ironically.
Let's see.
Let's see. Oh, my stepmom. Hi, Courtney. Tim, who's a broker in our office, who's in charge of recruitment. So if you're interested in becoming an agent with us or a broker with us, please reach out to Tim. Brittany Bassant, who is actually another reason why Misty and I connected. She is the Chamber South Executive Director. Hi. And Sam Scheckman, an old friend of mine from elementary school. So that's crazy. Hi, guys.
See, we didn't know who was going to be watching today, and we have all these people just sort of like popping in. So that's awesome. Nice to see you, everybody. Those I don't know, hello, Brittany. Hi. So anyways, all right. So let's talk about that. So the local market.
Yes.
Right. It's a little bit different these days.
Very much.
Right. And you talked a little bit about how you guys are going above and beyond with the personalized service with your clients, looking at ways to reduce costs, because everyone is probably pretty budget conscious these days, or most businesses are. So what are you seeing in the small business owner? What would you say to a small business owner in the commercial real estate space as it stands right now today?
So it depends on the market that they're in, not only the sub-market they're in, but the business kind they're in, whether it's industrial, retail, office. A lot of the people that over the last 6 months, what they've done is instead of just calling their landlord to say, I can't pay my rent, we always say, please call your tenant rep or call your landlord directly, depending on your relationship with them, and work out a plan, especially at the beginning of coronavirus when you were deeply affected. It's easier to say, hey, I can't pay these 6 months, but can I pay half, and then add it to the end of your lease. So that way there's guaranteed income for the owner that you can pay as a good tenant, and then also it helps you out in terms of your budget. It's kind of like landlords at your house. You don't want to say, sorry, I can't pay, but try and work out a solution. And again, that's why we love our clients, because they are families a lot of the times. They're not these huge institutional owners or publicly traded companies that need to make their profit margins. They understand. They're people too. So we have a really good relationships with our tenants that way. Other local things that are happening, let's see. Office is really expanding in the suburbs because people realize they want to work from home a lot. So they want to have offices closer to home versus downtown or Brickell. So we've seen a lot more movement in our suburb office space. You'd think retailers are actually slowing down. It's the bigger retailers that are slowing down more. The mom and pops are actually opening up a lot more. Certain areas like Doral is still incredibly busy. It's awesome. Some of our tenant reps are still expanding too. Hi, Grant. Grant just walked into the studio. Little known fact about Grant. Grant was my younger brother's baseball coach.
Younger brother? You got a younger
I have a baby brother who's 10, and then I have a younger brother who is now 26. 27, 26?
25,
26. So his son, Blake, and my younger brother, Blake, played baseball with Daniel growing up. So we would travel together all throughout the United States. So we go way back.
Way back.
Way
we don't
back.
want to talk about it.
We're not even, so, and Grant's out. Ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
Grant Miller. Behind the scenes. You
So-
never know what's going to happen here on Marketing Monday. So, okay.
Sorry
Jackie,
about that
continue.
little
No, I love it.
So, retailers. So we actually have some tenant rep retailer. That's one of our stronger business lines of business. They're expanding like crazy. You'd be interesting other than just healthcare, because obviously healthcare is expanding ridiculous because coronavirus. Also industrial, the healthcare related fields in industrial are really busy. So the people that are supplying the PPE, the people that are supplying the last minute services, Amazon is just opening a headquarters near Opelika Airport. I don't know if anybody's heard. It's been pretty well known in the community because they're really expanding locally since Jeff Bezos was a graduate of Palmetto High School and wants to give back to Miami. So it's not actually slowing down. We've gotten busier in the last 3 months, which is, thank God, very good for us.
Yeah, that's really awesome to hear because, you hear all these stories of businesses that are dealing with these different things. But I did read the other day actually that applications for new businesses are skyrocketing. So people, not applications, but people that are establishing new businesses on Sunbiz and throughout the country. I mean, that number is really growing. I guess people are seeing this as an opportunity to take the time to get out to these things. So. I know we probably have a few minutes left, so
Okay.
what have we not talked about that you want to address today?
That's a good question. One thing that I really like about our company, kind of just shouting them out more, is we're a lot, even though we're close to our competitors, we're kind of a different animal. Our niche is really suburbs, smaller mom and pop businesses, but we can handle the big businesses. We can do the corporate solutions with the white glove service that a lot of people don't realize we can, because we're not huge corporate publicly traded companies. We can literally do anything and everything that our client wants us to do. We also work really well with our referral sources, attorneys group and bankers specifically. So if you have an idea and you want to open a business but you don't know where to start, we can refer you to the right places. And then when you are ready for that office space or industrial headquarters, we can help you as well. So
I love that. I didn't know that about you. So why don't you go ahead and give out your contact information? How can people reach you if they want to know more about Wild Bunch or these different services that you guys are offering with helping people start up their business?
Absolutely. So my email address is actually my first name, Jackie, Jackie, Larkin, Larkin @naimiami.com. The reason why it's not J Larkin is my dad stole my email address because he was there first, J Larkin. And then our podcast, if you're interested in looking at that, it's Getting on the Green. So our broker, Craig Merlin, used to be a semi-pro golfer. And then we also decided green money. So you always want to make more money. So Getting on the Green. Or Getting in the Green. So Getting on the Green. It's a podcast. It's available on Spotify, I think Apple, and a couple other, basically anywhere you can listen to a podcast.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and I want to give a shout out to our producer, Tommy, here. He's putting all this information on the bottom
Thank you,
right now
Tommy.
as we speak live. He's on it. So her email address is there. The name of the podcast is there. Make sure you guys check it out. If you have any questions about, you're just starting a business, again, I think Jackie's an awesome resource for that. Not only does she have the business knowledge, but she has the resources and the referral space. but she's also a marketing pro. So I think there's so many different strengths to her, and she's just super friendly and professional and easy to chat with. So I definitely recommend, if you're just starting a business out, give her a call and she will not lead you wrong. So I want to thank everybody for being here today for another Marketing Monday. Next week, we're going to have Ivan Mildanovich from Primo and Proper. He's going to talk to us about B2B marketing and how he's getting the massive amounts of leads even in this unusual year. So that's going to be a really interesting segment as well. Jackie, thank you again for being here today. Is there anything you want to close out with?
If you love animals, really look into Wild Bunch.
Look into Wild Bunch.
Group.
Yeah, you can check it out on the website, or again, just let us know and we'll hook you up with that group. So thanks, everybody. Again, I hope you have a wonderful week. And as always, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks.